Good morning, everybody. My name is Jason Major from Sweaty Heroes, and welcome to another episode of Sweaty Heroes Comic Bargains. Usually I do stuff from the quarter bin or stuff from the dollar bin, but this weekend, when I recorded this video, I went to the National Fan Experience, the first one in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and I picked up some Spider-Man comics. So these are not dollar comics, but I thought that it'd be fun to just show you like some the Spider-Man stuff that I got this weekend, and just let you know about. So first of all, we got Marvel Tales 81 and 82. So this is a fun story because you can see right here that this is let's see, it's signed by Roy Thomas in that corner box there, and I put to Jason so I can't sell it on eBay. And this one's also to Jason, Roy Thomas. Roy Thomas wrote these issues of Amazing Spider-Man, which was 103 and 104. These are reprinted in the Marvel Tales issues. So my funny story is that I was at the convention center, and I was trying to... And Roy Thomas only wrote 4 issues of Amazing Spider-Man, 101, 102, 103, 104. And I looked through the bins for one of those issues, hoping to find just a reading copy they can buy and get signed. Couldn't find one, so I had to walk to the convention center and go, luckily, only a 10-minute walk to the local comic store, Rogues Gallery, shout out to you guys, which had these in their back issue bin, so that at least I could get something signed by him. Autographs were by donation, and to a fund for comic creators that he's doing, and so I give him some money and also got a photo taken with him. So these are fun issues. And also another fun part of this story is that because of the page count, they actually had to split these 2 issues into a 3rd issue of Marvel Tales because of the way they were when the Marvel Tales would reprint these issues, the page count had been lowered from the 20 issues from before, or something like that. That's kind of cool. This one I should have got at the last convention. This is a classic, Amazing Spider-Man number 200. I had this originally. I bought this for 75 cents. Not when it came out. I'm not that old. When I was a kid, there was a store called the Book Bin in my hometown, and they had 75-cent issues, back issues of comics. Used comics, and they had Amazing Spider-Man 200. I had this issue for 75 cents, but I eventually sold a lot of my comics when I moved to Toronto because I was just, I was a young college guy trying to survive on nothing. But I had to get this issue again, and it's a classic issue where Spider-Man fights the burglar who killed Uncle Ben. That's the return of the burglar. And so what I try to do is I try to basically get an issue from every decade or so, every 100 issues or so of Amazing Spider-Man. So we have this cover, which I thought was awesome. Peter Parker going crazy in the Daily Bugle office, that's Joe Robertson right there, and that's J. Jonah Jameson right there. And I thought, no, that's not J. Jonah Jameson. That's Robbie Robertson there. Anyway, so he's going crazy. Why is he going crazy? I just thought it was a cool cover, and so $15 book. I decided this was the cover that I wanted to go with. Now, I could have not got this and got something more later with a black costume or something, but I thought it was a fun cover, and it ended up being a cool book. Read it. Roger Stern did the story. John Byrne did the art. Oh, really cool issue. This is an issue I got, 367. You'll notice in the top right corner, these are not clones. These are doppelgangers of our hero who were trained by Taskmaster. So they don't have the actual powers of the heroes. They just have gadgets that mimic the heroes just the way the Taskmaster does, if you're familiar with that character. And you'll notice that this Spider-Man type character, which is called Blood Spider. He's black. He's in kind of a black and white costume, but the top of his head is green and red. I think it's obviously like some sort of coloring mistake. If you actually look in the issue, it's even more confusing because his costume is more closer to like Spider-Man 2099's, and you can see over here. blue and red, but it does have that webbing on the top. You know what I mean? But of that webbing on the top there, it's still blue and red. So who knows what the original colors were supposed to be? Probably the blue and red. Although to me that looks a lot like Spider-Man 2009. But I don't think he had come out in early 19. No, he had just been introduced in 1992 in 365. So that's kind of weird that costume looks a lot like Spider-Man 2009. It was probably just the artist's choice. And Jerry Bingham did the interiors of this, not the cover. So he signed the inside. And again, I said to Jason, I personalized my comics because they're going to be with me forever. Sorry about you eBay lovers. To Jason. But Bagley did the cover. So we got that too. He was a cool guy. He said that he did a backup feature for Spider-Man Unlimited #1, which is the Maximum Carnage storyline. He didn't draw the Maximum Carnage part. He drew a backup feature. But even though he drew the backup feature, the royalties on that first issue helped pay down payment for him getting a house in California, which is kind of cool. This is during the Clone Saga, so this is a Bagley issue with Kane and Spider-Man, so I had to get it. That's kind of cool. And when I read this, I realized this is actually one that back in the 90s I did not read because, sometimes you miss an issue. And so that was kind of cool that I got that issue realizing that I don't think I've ever read it in the 30 years. Another issue I'd never read before. This is 426, and you can see through those arms. Doc Ock. At the time, Doc Ock was dead. He had been killed by our friend Kane here. And this is the issue right before they bring him back from the dead through the hand. This is a cool cover. Amazing Spider-Man variant edition. This is where you start getting into variant covers. But as a variant cover, I like this design. It's Sal Buscema, who had a long run in Spectacular Spider-Man, and you can see the Punishers in this issue, so that was kind of fun. This issue is during the Brand New Day era, and now we're back to the 600s again. Now we're in the 600s, painted cover, sort of. And Kane is returning. At the time, Ben Reilly is dead. He comes back later. Spoiler alert. I like this cover. I thought it was really cool. This is one of the Dan Slott Spider-Mans. But it was a fun one. I read it. And it's the Hobgoblin. And Phil Urich becomes the new Hobgoblin. Again, spoiler alert for a book that's been out for over 10 years. Cloak and Dagger are in this issue. That covers by Alex Ross. And this is where you got to be kind of like smart and have to look inside. So this issue is actually number 7. And so you'd have to look inside to see what year it comes out from. So I would look inside in this issue, and I would find out that it is 2016, which means it comes after the issue 697 here, which that was close to where they had Superior Spider-Man. And Superior Spider-Man actually, even though they're not legacy numbered, those count as Amazing Spider-Man. I know. Why didn't they just call it Amazing Spider-Man? And then you have this comes out later, and then there's probably at least there's a few different volumes. So you got to sort of check the date to see when these go, because eventually it does go back to the legacy numbering with 789, and then after that they kind of reboot it again with a new number 1, but they at least have the legacy number on the cover, so that you can either do number, it's volume this, but legacy number this. And then, breaking my own rule, I had to get 2 issues that were only $2 that were not Amazing Spider-Man. This is the honeymoon issue of Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. He's ripping up. That's Puma. He's cool. And I like this issue. I love this issue. I had it when I was a kid. One of my first Spider-Man comics, actually. I have this issue, not the one that I had when I was a kid, but like I somehow got another issue, but it was in rough shape. So for $2, I was like, yeah, I want one that's like in really almost near mid shape. Now I have to find the wedding issue again. And then last but not least, we have Spider-Man Team Up during the Clone Saga. So that's Ben Reilly Spider-Man. In a story written by Dan Jurgens with art by Bob McLeod, and the Fantastic Four team up, and it's a fun story where Ben Reilly Spider-Man decides to prank Human Torch on his birthday. That's all for today. Stay sweaty.